What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 28 of DFS by Cage. Today, I am going to be giving out my six-fighter lineup for Draftkings for UFC Vegas 54, which is headlined by a light heavyweight matchup in the top five of the division between Jan Jovic going up against Alexander Rakic. As always, this is Cage My IQ, the best place for MMA content. As you see right here, you can follow us on social media and also subscribe to all the channels that we have down below. We are on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. We are back on the Cage My IQ YouTube channel. So all you need to do is search Cage My IQ on all four platforms and follow or subscribe to all of our channels. Now, we're still partnered with the Fighters First Network. They're still part of our conglomerate of podcasts, but we're back on the YouTube channel. So all I ask for you guys to do is go to Cage My IQ on YouTube, smash the subscribe button and notification bell, and also please hit the like button down below on this video and hit us up in the comment section. Let me know who you're going with this Saturday for DraftKings with your six-fighter lineup for UFC Vegas 54. But before I break down my six-fighter lineup, I just want to give a shout-out to our sponsor, which is High Tide Herbal, as you see down below. If you don't know who High Tide Herbal is, check out this video right now.
Offering high-quality, sustainable products with all-natural, lab-tested ingredients, it's High Tide Herbal's mission to help others live the longest, healthiest, and most productive lives possible. Their hemp-derived CBD products have a wide variety of uses, from helping sore muscles to skin hydration and minimizing skin irritation. They generate results based on your specific needs. Elevate your lifestyle with the new wave of wellness. Visit hightideherbal.com to learn more.
All you gotta do is go to www.hightideherbal.com. We have a promo that we're running out now with High Tide Herbal. All you need to do is go to checkout, put in the promo code down below, CageMyIQ10, to receive 10% off your next purchase. Once again, put in the promo code CageMyIQ10 to receive 10% off your next purchase on their website. But let's get going to breaking down our six-fighter lineup for this week. Last week for 274, we had a so-so performance out of our six-fighter lineup. Carla Esparza was able to still give us some good point total there. We hit on three of our fighters, but then the other three didn't get enough done point wise. So it was a so-so performance out of us last week. So let's bang in and get this week right and cash in on all of our DraftKings lineup with the lineup that I'm about to give you right now. But of course, we're starting with giving you my lineup, and then I'm going to go and explain why I'm going with each pick. My first one is Andrea Petroski. He's coming in here at 7-2. His salary is $6,900, so he's coming in as the cheapest person in the lineup. The next person we're going with is the former champion, one half of the main event, Jan Jovic. He's coming in at $7,500. We're going with him there. The next person we're coming with is Andrea Lee, which is right here. She's coming in at $8,200. The next person we're going with after that is Ian Cutelaba. See right there, $8,900. The next person we're going with after that is newcomer Tesuro Tayara. He is $9,000. And then lastly, we're going with Davey Grant. He's coming in here at the price tag of $9,100. As you see right there, there's our lineup. Going through each pick now. The cheapest person we're going with is former the Ultimate Fighter semifinalist Andrea Petroski. As you see right there, he's coming into his third fight in the UFC. He's had the most. Uh, he's been the most active of all the fighters since being on the show. He's riding a 2-fight winning streak with the UFC. He is 7-2 overall. He has an FPPF in those 2 fights of a 111.9. He's going up against fellow grappler Nick Maximus, who is the heaviest favorite on this card at this week. And I don't know why, but they put him with that. Nick Maximus usually trains with the Diaz brothers, so he has a high level of grappling background with them. But Petroski came in on the Ultimate Fighter finale. He KO'd Michael Gilmore in round 3. He had 4 takedowns in that fight and 8 minutes of control time. In his last fight, which was October against Yao Zhang, he got the late sub in round 3. He had 72 significant strikes, 4 takedowns again in that fight. He had 1 reversal, and then he had almost 11 minutes of control time. So he had a nice combination of striking and grappling, and then the control time. In this matchup against Nick Maximus is going to look to use the wrestling against Petroski. I just feel like a lot of people are overlooking the fact that Petroski himself has a wrestling background on top of the jiu-jitsu that he trains with at Gracie gym in Philadelphia. So I feel like he's going to come in here. It might be less of the grappling. He's going to do more to defend the shoots of Maximus, but he's going to look to get the submission entries as counter to the grappling, and he's going to use his hands. I think Petroski has way better hands than Maximus. Maximus is all about the grappling, the takedown, and he's looking for control time over action. So I see Petroski dealing with that very well. I got Petroski getting the first round sub in this fight because I feel like Nick Maximus is not going to be able to defend the entries. And that's why I'm going with that Petroski here. He's coming in at 6,900. So you have a lot to work with that Petroski. And if he gets the victory, that's all you need here. And no matter what point total he gets, it's going to be a success as long as he gets the victory here, uh, which I think is going to be inside the distance. So with this, I'm going with Andre Petroski, 6,900 salary. The next person we're going with is the former champ. He comes in at 7,500. We got Jan Jovic. He's fighting Alexander Rakic in the main event of UFC Vegas 54. He's coming in 28-9, 69.2 FPPF. As you see right there, he was rolling a nice 5-fight win streak before losing to Glover Teixeira back in October 30th. And he had 2 knockouts over Anderson Reyes. He had the 5-round decision over the middleweight champion Izzy Adesanya, and then he had that victory over Souza by decision as well. But in that 3-fight win streak between Anderson Reyes and Adesanya, he looked very hot in those matchups. He had the 2 early knockouts where he had a lot of fantasy points. He averaged over 105. Poor fight in that 3-fight streak. As you see it there, 105, 96, and 116. And then he came into the Teixeira fight, and Teixeira just was able to over grapple him with the size and the takedown. Glover Teixeira did get rocked early on by Jovic, but he wasn't able to take advantage of it. He made a mistake, got thrown on the ground, and then eventually he got subbed by Teixeira, who got the victory over him. Against a guy like Alexander Rakic, who is going to be all about getting into the clinch and getting this fight dirty. I like Jovic's chances in this fight. And he's going to have to deal with the grappling and the takedown shoots of Rakic. But Rakic to me is more about getting the clinch, get along the cage and throw those knees and elbows and close combat shots. Whereas Jovic is going to be moving. He's going to throw those bombs. He's from Poland, so everybody in Poland hits hard in the octagon. And I could see a second or third round knockout for Jovic, but I feel like with the fight going 5 rounds, he can put in a lot of volume in that span. Just look at the fight against Adesanya. He got 3 takedowns, but he had over 100 significant strikes. He had 184 total because of the 84 that he did with the ground and pound. But he was able to have a lot of success on the feet and with the movement. He's proved that he can go 5 rounds, several fights. Whereas Rakic hasn't been able to do that. I think he's had maybe one 5 round fight, which was, I believe, against Anthony Smith, and that's it. So we don't know how far Rakic can take Jovic, but we know Jovic can go the distance because he's done it several times, being the champ. And I think he's going to be very motivated to get the belt back after that bad performance against Teixeira. And I think Rakic is just in the wrong place at the wrong time in this one. And I have a feeling that Jovic is going to knock out Rakic inside the distance. So the second person I'm going with is Jan Jovic at 7,500. Moving on to the third fighter, we're going with Andrea KGB Lee. She's coming in with the salary of 8,200. She has a tough opponent in Vivian Arroyo, who is a very solid boxer with good hands. She has a good jab and hook. But in this matchup, Andrea Lee, she's coming in 13-5, 78.3 FPPF. If you look right there, she's coming in on a 2-fight win streak. Ever since losing by decision to Wood, Murphy, and Modafferi, where she had high level volume output, she just got edged by split decisions in those fights where she could have won any of those fights, but it went the other way with the judges. So we could be talking about a difference with her, where she's 13-5, but she could be 15-3 if some of those decisions went her way. They just didn't. She came in against Shevchenko, was very dominant with her grappling. She has the judo, jiu-jitsu background, and then kickboxing as well. She was able to judo throw Shevchenko a few times and spent a lot of the fight on the ground in the first round, just holding her in a position, and she was able to piece her up there. But in the second round, that's where she really shined in that fight, holding her in the triangle for majority of the round, and then eventually getting the armbar on her late in the second. And then against Calvillo, she came out and showcased more of her striking output. Within 2 rounds, she got the knockout via doctor stoppage. She had 84 significant strikes in the 2 rounds and was able to just showcase how she picked apart Calvillo. And she came in and did that. So she's in the past 2 fights, she's shown 2 different versions of herself that has shown how good she has gotten since that 3-fight losing streak. I guess somebody like Arroyo, she's going to have to be able to grapple and strike against her. And I like the chances that she has due to her grappling. I think Arroyo is going to be better with the hands in this fight, but I think those leg kicks are going to come into play here, and the grappling up close with the judo throws to try and eliminate the movement of Arroyo, where she gets those opportunities to quickly throw the jab, get it going, and then the hook. She's going to throw a lot of the kicks to the body, a lot of the calf kicks. She's going to look to slow down Arroyo, and then she's going to look to get inside, get in the Muay Thai clinch, and then throw her down and look to lock in one of those submissions that she can get off of the entries. She's very good at processing entries and getting to the right positions to lock in on our opponents. And I see a easy submission victory for Andrea Lee in this matchup. As long as the fight gets down to the ground, it's going to favor Andrea Lee. If the fight stands on the feet way too long, this is going to become a flip of a coin of a matchup because of both fighters having very good volume output and striking on their side. I get the edge with the hands to Arroyo, but I get the edge overall to Andrea Lee because she can throw the leg kicks and the hands, and then she can grapple as well. So with this one, I'm going Andrea Lee. I could see her getting anywhere from 80 to 100, depending on uh, if she gets the finish or not. The high output and volume benefits her, but then she's got to be able to eliminate some of that output from Arroyo in this matchup as well. So that's why I'm going with Andrea Lee at 8,200. Moving on to we got the one half of the co-main event. We got Ian the Hulk Cutelaba. He's coming in at 8,900. His opponent is Ryan Spann. He's 16, 6 and 1, 67.7 FPPF. As you see right there, he is all about going for the finish, high output, round one. He got the decision victory over Devin Clark, where he took him down 8 times. The theme of Ian Cutelaba is he comes out guns blazing round one. He puts a lot into it. Half the time he looks and he either knocks you out as in the Roundtree fight, or he comes in there, almost gets a 10-8 round one, and then he loses steam and then his opponent catches up like in Jacoby, or he just catches at the wrong end of the stick against a guy like Magomed Ankalaev, who's able to knock him out very quickly. But like he has the knockout history in round one, and he's a guy that has the combination of knockout power and wrestling. And against a guy like Ryan Spann, who is very chinny and is more of a jiu-jitsu submission artist with his knockout power, I favor Ian Cutelaba in this matchup, and I feel like he's going to be very optimal in lineups this week. I think he's going to get the first round knockout. He's going to use the wrestling to tire out Spann, but I feel like he's going to be able to catch Spann early with one of those overhand shots. I think he's going to threaten with the takedown, and he's going to then change levels and throw that overhand shot. Spann has been known to leave his head open many times, and he gets caught and dazed by fighters. And against a guy like Cutelaba, he has knockout power. So if he connects on one of those shots, he's putting Ryan Spann to sleep early on. I think he gets the first round knockout. I think he hits over 100 points on Draftkings this week. Ian Cutelaba is the guy to go to, especially if he doesn't get that. If somehow this goes the distance, which I don't think he does, I feel like he's going to be able to get several takedowns, quite a bit of volume, especially in the first round, and he's going to touch almost 90 in that fight. But I'm hoping he hits the first round finish, gets over 100 points, and is optimal this week. So with the next person, we got Cutelaba at the price tag of 8,900. Moving on to the fifth person, we got Tesuro Tayara. He was supposed to fight Carlos Candelario a couple weeks ago, but Candelario got sick, wasn't able to fight. So this fight got moved to this week. He's making his debut in the UFC, coming from Japan. He has that crazy kickboxing background, Muay Thai. He's really good in the clinch, but his bread and butter is within his movement and his leg kicks. He's very fast. He throws those leg kicks. He comes in there when he's in close. He can get you there. He has a knack for stunning his opponent and then attacking him from behind and getting the sub right after he stuns him. So he has a lot of different ways that he can get you a lot of points on DraftKings. And against a guy that's more grappling heavy in Candelario, who does have good hands, I like Tesuro's chances with the high volume, the movement. I don't think he gets caught with any big shots. I think he's going to be able to stuff Candelario whenever he shoots. And I think he just cruises to a decision victory here. But I think the big key here is the high volume output here. I think he's going to do that. I think this is more of a situation where I'm going with the lock that I am looking for inside the distance finish here. If he gets it, which he's done so after at the end of round one in the past couple fights, that is more than plenty for us this week. That'd be the icing on the cake for this lineup. But if he doesn't, I think he gets the easy decision victory with the movement as long as he doesn't make any bad mistakes. He hasn't made mistakes in the past, but when you get to the UFC, you can get the jitters and make a mistake. I don't think he does so. I think he cruises to a high output decision victory, and that's why I'm going with Tesuro Tayara at the 5 spot with the salary of $9,000. Moving on to the last person in our lineup, we got veteran Davey Grant. He's going up against Luis Smolka. His salary is 9,100. He's 13-6. His FPPF is 56. As you see right there, he's coming off of a 5-fight losing streak. I mean, a 2-fight losing streak. My bad. In the last 5 fights, he's 2-3. And he had the decision victory with Popov. He had 90 points there. Then he had a 101 and 99 against Day and Martinez, in which he got late round KOs. And then you had the decision losses to Chito Vera and Adrian Yanez, in which he had success with the striking there. So he has shown that in his wins that he is very probable for high output points wise. And against a guy like Luis Smolka, who hasn't looked great in his last couple fights. He has the judo jiu-jitsu background. He was getting pieced up by Quinonez before he was able to get that lucky takedown, and where he got him into the submission entry, and then he got the win by stoppage there. So, but he was getting pieced up by the quickness of the hands of Quinonez, and against a guy like Davey Grant, who's all about his hands. He's very good with the hands. He stands there and he's going to brawl with you. He's going to take damage to give damage back. But then he has shown that he can grapple as well. He had 6 takedowns against Popov. He had 2 against Day, and then he had 1 against Chito Vera. And he doesn't need to use it, but he will if he has to. And I think it might be used in this fight just to clinch up and to get a lot of his volume put off here. But I see a knockout victory for Davey Grant here in round 2. I think they go at it round 1. He's going to get the volume count up there. And he's not going to be afraid to stand in front of Smolka. And then round 2, he's going to catch Smolka in the clinch, and he's going to put him down. This is one of my big locks of the week. Smolka is a guy that hasn't impressed me. He did get that shocking victory, like I said, but he hasn't impressed me in his last few fights. And Davey Grant, who is a veteran here, has proven that when he wins with a high point total on DraftKings. It might not be optimal, but you can trust that he's going to get you a certain amount of points in his wins. So with that, I'm going with Davey Grant at 9,100 salary for this week. That's our 6 fighters for this week. Just to summarize our picks once again. We got Andre Petroski, 6,900. We got Jan Jovic, 7,500. We got Andrea Lee, 8,200. Ian Cutelaba, 8,900. Tesuro Tayara, 9,000. And then lastly, Davey Grant, 9,100. Other than that, we're going to wrap things up. We will be back next week for DFS by Cage 29. I give you guys my DFS lineup for UFC Vegas 55, which will be headlined by a women's matchup between Holly Holm going up against Ketlin Vieira. And we've got 10 or 11 bouts on for that UFC Fight Night card at UFC Apex in Las Vegas. Catch out the rest of our content that we put out. We of course we got our UFC Vegas 54 preview show this week. We got our Bellator 281 4-card breakdown as well. And then next week will just be UFC with Bellator and PFL on break until the end of June. But other than that, that'll wrap things up. As always, if you can, find us on social media, follow and subscribe to our channels on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. Smash the like button down below and hit us up in the comment section of this video. Let us know what you think of my lineup and then give me your picks for DFS for this Saturday. But other than that, I am your host, Cage, and this is DFS by Cage 28. And I will see you guys next week on Cage My IQ. Thanks for tuning in.